redefining success, to move beyond the first two metrics of money and power. I believe that when we do that, when we define success to include the third metric, that involves also taking care of ourselves, our own well-being, our own wisdom, our own capacity to wonder and to give back, that we are actually going to find it easier to break through the glass ceilings. Because if you think of the women's revolutions, we first had the women's revolution that gave us the vote. The second women's revolution was about access and being able to have an equal place at the top of every field and every profession, equal opportunities, equal pay. The third women's revolution is about changing the workplace. And it is going to be led by women. It's going to be led by women because you guys designed the world and it's not working. I address the men in the room here, although they're the good men, so they're not the ones at fault. But when we redefine the workplace, men are going to be unbelievably grateful. Because right now, they have kind of equated, for example, sleep deprivation with virility. I had dinner the other night with a guy who bragged that he had only gotten 4 hours sleep the night before. And I wanted to say, I didn't say, but I wanted to say, you know what? If you had gotten 5, this dinner would have been a lot more interesting. So we now occupy workplaces that are fueled by burnout, sleep deprivation, exhaustion, and we're paying a heavy price. If you look at the financial meltdown, for example, you are wondering, where were the CEOs? Where were the men at the top? And there was recently an article, I don't know if you read it, by the woman CFO of Lehman Brothers, who wrote in the New York Times how she had burned out. She had devoted all her life to work. And she had destroyed her marriage. And she had destroyed her own personal life. And as I was reading it, I was thinking, and you know what? It didn't help Lehman Brothers either. So it's not a trade-off. We've been thinking that it's a trade-off, but when we take care of ourselves, it means we're not as committed to our work, we're not working as hard. Well, I had my own rude awakening in 2007, 2 years after I launched the Huffington Post. I fainted from exhaustion. I hit my head on my desk, I broke my cheekbone, I got 4 stitches on my right eye, and that was my own rude awakening that started me on this journey of reevaluating success, our working lives, and led to the third metric. I have to tell you one thing. I have never been more effective and productive than after 7 or 8 hours sleep, than after I meditate, or I do yoga, or I do whatever it is that helps me be in a centered place of strength and wisdom. And if you think of it, the higher you go up in whatever field you are, the more you are really judged by your judgment. It's the decisions you make. You know, if you hire the wrong person, you're going to really pay for it in wasted time and resources, if nothing else. So I have found that if I'm in a place of strength and wisdom inside myself, no matter what happens, I can deal with it much more effectively. If I'm exhausted, run down, burned out, I'm reactive, and that's when the worst mistakes happen. So we now have the statistics also to show, you know, the billions of dollars that both Canadian business and US business loses every year because of stress, because of absenteeism, because of healthcare costs, and how much of that can be prevented. Also, as I get older, I realize that ultimately, you want to enjoy your life. This is not a dress rehearsal. It's not like you're going to work really, really hard and then you're going to get to that place at the top and everything will be perfect. Life is always a mixture of great things happening and bad things happening. That's never going to change. It's just our own attitude to how we deal with everything. So as an employer now, for example, at the Huffington Post, we have 2 nap rooms where people can go and have a nap in the middle of the afternoon if they are tired, instead of having a 5th cup of coffee or a 3rd cinnamon bar or whatever it is that they love to give them energy. Of course, the other day, I must say, these nap rooms are always full now. At the beginning, people thought nobody would ever be seen dead going into them, and now, we have to open a 3rd one. But the other day, I was walking by them, and I saw 2 people coming out of the nap room. And, I thought to myself, whatever it takes to recharge you. Just don't tell HR, right? We also have weekly yoga classes.